everybody. This is Bishop John Selders, and welcome to Reflecting Faith. It's the holiday season, so happy holidays to you. Thought we would spend some time during this time at the end of the year 2010 to talk a little bit about Kwanzaa. As many of you may know, Kwanzaa is an African American cultural holiday that's celebrated between December 26th and January 1st. The name actually comes from a Kiswahili phrase that literally means first fruits and gets its roots from the African harvest celebrations of Africa and West Africa specifically. Kwanzaa was created in the mid-1960s by Malana Kwanzaa, who was an activist and now is a scholar in Southern California, who was involved in the Black freedom movement of the 1960s, and thus this cultural holiday reflects that movement's concern with self-determination, a kind of returning to the source, and is framed in the philosophy that stresses cultural grounding, value orientations, and an ongoing discourse or dialogue with African culture, both that conversation that's happening on the continent and the conversation that's throughout the diaspora. All right. Kwanzaa explained in a book that he wrote about Kwanzaa that there are some organizing foundational activities or principles for which Kwanzaa is founded upon. One, the ingathering of peoples to reinforce the bonds of relationship, both familiar, family-related, community, and cultural bonds. Secondly, there is this special reverence that the holiday should reflect on the Creator, God, and the creation, the earth, and our commitment to honor the earth and to protect it. And towards that end, there's also a commemoration of our past, and a way in which we can be faithful and are obligated, in fact, to remember and honor our ancestors, those who have gone on before us, right? And then a recommitment to the highest of what African cultural values render to us, both ethically and spiritual values and principles that bring forth the best of what it means to be what I would call human, right? And lastly, this holiday is shared across the bounds and barriers that divide us, age and gender and any of the other kinds of ways in which we have hitherto in our communities fragmented ourselves and disconnected ourselves. So the question comes, and it is often asked of me, so what does it mean? What does this holiday, this observance mean, especially to you who are a Christian? In fact, I was out the other day, and somebody asked me, "You celebrate Kwanzaa?" I'd say, "Of course I do." Now, while Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday, it is a cultural observance and a holiday that has spirituality all over it. Okay, so let's say that. My response goes something like this: Kwanzaa is an attempt to, in some way, have a collective cultural conscious-centered ritual or set of rituals that allow for us to observe and to participate in a kind of collective reaction and response. In other words, we are invited to engage in a process of recovery of a lost African and community identity. And as it relates to my faith, and particularly my Christian faith, my cultural or racial identity is inextricably wrapped together with my culture, and my commitment to God. Faith and culture go hand in hand for me. There's no disconnection. There's no disconnection of who I know myself to be and who I know I am becoming. So, finally, my prayer is for you, that you would be so moved in this discussion, this discourse, please give me some feedback, and be in conversation with me. But at the end of the day, my prayer is that you'll be so moved that you will engage in some conscious way to a process and a project of recovery on your own, of your own. No matter that process, no matter the set of rituals or concepts you use, the tools you may be engaged in, you may choose to engage in, here's the deal. To specifically and distinctively and intentionally, engage in this project of recovery, to remember literally who you are and whose you are in a deep and significant and meaningful way, man. Family, that's the bottom line. It is for me. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be broadcasting here in my office, my office, and I ask you to join me in this journey of Kwanzaa this year. Peace. Habari gani.